Hello, everybody. It is Monday, November 25th, 2024 at 8:59 p.m. EST. A bit late. Well, not necessarily late relative to when I said it would be, but, you know, late for the Dovecote. And you're watching the Dovecote episode 50 with my guest, absolutely no one. with my guest, me. I've decided to do. I noticed, like, honestly, it is very possible that, like, this could have not been the way that it is, because, like, I didn't realize that I didn't have a guest for this day, and it just kind of turned out to be episode 50. So I had the time to. I didn't need to, like, set up news or anything. I had the time to, like, really deck out the old layout. And ooh, you know what? I actually just realized something. The nest is not updated. Oop. There we go. Now we're fully in it. Okay, hell yeah. Yeah, 50 whole doves in coats. A whole lot of them. A whole bundle of doves. As you can see, there is a there are significant changes to the overlay. Hang on, I'm gonna turn a little bit to the side here. I should probably make myself somewhat big, but also I want y'all to be able to see the doves when I or the birds when I bring them in. Yeah, I decided to do a full a full touch up of the overlay. As you can see, there's some additional texture work and some shading that I've added. That's, like, probably the most subtle thing that I did. There's some patterning on the wall. There's, like, additional shading for the like cubbies for the Dovecote. Some little things and guys in those. I'll probably add more of those as we go. And some nice little danglies on the drapes, and also the stars move. I would generally like to make more things that move. I might add some, like, little cascading feathers at some point, if that feels like a thing that will make sense in terms of effort spent versus outcome. And then also we have some changes to the birds themselves. I'm just going to bring them all in because we're not going to do the normal segments today. Yeah, I'm mostly just gonna, like, I don't think this will be super short because I have a lot of thoughts, and I kind of want to, like, go over old episodes a little bit, not necessarily watch them, but, like, I want to, like, go over the episode list and kind of talk about how like my experience with those episodes, how I feel about those, and yeah, me after getting my paycheck, entering the Dovecote, bring out the doves. That's right. So first of all, Intrero, the interview bird. As you can see, Intrero has a little nod. Cordis, the news bird, coming in from 50 incredible, an incredible 50 location, 50 destination vacation, which is fucking wild. Phew. As you can see, Cordis also has some wigglies. And Apocrypha, the male bird. Also has some little wiggles and flaps. Actually, Apocrypha's not quite where they should be. Hang on. It's a new setup. It's gonna need some fine tuning. There we go. But yeah, we got a whole. Actually, I feel like Intrero could also probably be a little bit. Yeah, like there. There we go. So yeah, there's like gonna be movement now. Um, One of the things that I will probably do, because I think it is a lot of movement, is I will probably actually pause. Oh, hang on, not like that. Uh, ignore what just happened. I'm probably gonna pause the ones that are not that it's not the current segment of, so I can do just like this. So you'll know which segment it is because the bird will be moving. Also, I'm gonna introduce them as normal. So like if I'm doing the interview, Char will be like nodding along, and if I'm doing the news, Chorus will be kind of doing a little devious grin. Um, and if I'm doing mail, then you'll be able to see Apocrypha doing a little wiggle and a wink. Um, and yeah, that's kind of gonna be the vibe. Um, I'll just have them move for now so folks can look at them because I'm pretty happy with them overall. I think I'm not really an animator, but I wanted to kind of go for like a .com era animation style almost, like gifs that you would see uh on a on like at like of like 5 FPS on like a website. So that was kind of the vibe I was going for with them, and I think they came out pretty good here. I'm pretty happy with them. Uh, pretty proud. Oh, that's very sweet. I just got a message from Natalie, who is a previous Dovecote uh Dovecote guest. Natalie from Luck of the Harbor, from Warren who's said like congrats for the 50. That's very sweet of Nat. Um, yeah, I guess I kind of want to talk a bit about like where do I see this show's role in terms of RPGs, uh, and how do I think we did for the first 50 episodes? Because I think like a lot of this was I was finding uh I was very much finding what the show was as I was doing it. I had the vague idea of like it would be really cool to bring on RPG folks to talk about RPG news, right? Um, Actually, I'm gonna see if I can like set myself up a little bit more centrally. Let me see what I can do with that. But yeah, I really liked the idea of having a show where I brought RPG folks on to talk about RPG news because like that really wasn't a thing. Also, like I think I had some. One might say that I had a little bit of like, uh, what would you call it? I was a little bit like trying to get at the like teach the RPG news show that one. If I'm being 100% honest, like I saw that and I saw how much like money they had made on Kickstarter and how little they were actually doing in terms of like meaningful and interesting TTRPG content. Um, and I was like really kind of peeved by that because I think there really is a space. I mean, obviously you have like Rascal doing actual, RPG journalism, but I think there is like a space for a show that like covers RPG news uh from a like on a budget on a like reasonable time scale because part of the issue with like doing a kickst now I'm just kind of criticizing other people, but I do feel like it's good to get this out because like it did really inform my thought process for this show. um I wanted something that I could get out weekly because I saw that like they produced like maybe I don't know, it was like a dozen episodes on like a huge Kickstarter budget, and then they had to like make a bunch of AP and board game stuff to for like incentives. And like I think my model for like news is like for like weekly news stuff, right? Is I think of stuff like the Majority Report with Sam Cedar and Emma Vigland. Like I think that those sorts of shows are really good because um they have like a really solid setup like funding structure, obviously, like that they are in-person sets. It's a very different thing, that's those people's jobs. But like, I think the fact that they are able to do like a show, a couple times a week is like really, really, really good. And have it look good and have it be like on like really high quality sets. And obviously, there's not as much of an audience for that sort of stuff in RPGs because if you want to know the news about RPGs, you don't really need an analyst. I mean, maybe you do. Like, I think Rascal is definitely doing that, right? Um, but you don't necessarily need a like you don't need a Sam Cedar to tell to talk to you about RPGs. Um, but I do think like this show has shown that there is some interest in that at least. Like it is a thing that like folks are interested in seeing and uh, yeah, folks are interested in seeing a weekly show on RPGs because it's like if you're making an RPG news show that needs like to record in a fancy studio and use Kickstarter money every time like and you can cover like a couple big stories like you're gonna RPGs are going to move faster than you, right? Like it's not the news at that point. um so so I didn't really like the way that they structured that. Honestly, okay, I'm gonna go into a slight tangent about the RPG news thing because like if I were to do that, and I don't know, listen, I'm not necessarily the best at this sort of stuff, but I went to school for journalism, like I have a degree in journalism, so I'd like to think I have some broadcast knowledge. I did do some broadcast stuff, like I would really I would avoid like talent, like capital T talent. I would go for folks who are internal, who have like, good on mic, on air personalities. Um, but otherwise keep it fairly thin. And I would like go for getting, what are your costs for like a Kickstarter like that? Like renting a studio, and like and getting equipment, maybe renting equipment depending on like what you want the numbers for that to be. But I would not go for like a sort of like what's the old like fucking like I wouldn't go for like a Revision style, like Revision 3 style gaming news show. Because I think that it just things get really bloated. I would go for like the equipment and the setups that you can make things you could like do the same thing over and over again. Um, but that's just my take on that. Anyways, that's a tangent. My actual point being that the reason why I made the Dovecote like this is because I really wanted to have something that could be weekly and kind of continual and up to date. Yeah, we exactly. We don't need G4 for TTRPGs. Yeah. But yeah, I made the Dovecote with that intention, and I think like slowly I found that there was more of an interest in talking about design here because like obviously I'm a designer. I come from that perspective. I'm asking people questions that are like generally not at least my intention, and I think I've gotten better at this in later episodes, is I'm trying not to ask questions that are like, all right, so like if I had myself on, all right, so tell me what Sapphic World is. Like I'm trying to ask questions that are like based on having consumed these people's work or knowing something about the work that they do. Jeff Stormer has this tweet that he keeps making. Wait, let me just hang on. I'm just making sure I got pronouns right. Yes, okay. Jeff Stormer has this tweet that he keeps making, and I feel it so hard in my soul every time I like listen to like certain interviews, which is it's something along the lines of like, before you ask me to do something, learn who I am and what I do. And like I really want to try and do that with my guests. I really want to try and like come into the Dovecote with a knowledge of like who the person I'm talking to is and what the work they do is, because like I have been in that situation before where someone goes up to you and starts asking you questions and they're in another fucking universe, right? And so I think it's really worth coming from the approach of you know, of knowing what my guests what my guests do, and what they would actually want to talk about. Um, like I think my favorite interviews are not the interviews where I'm like asking a person about their work because I like either didn't have time that week or like I didn't like there was no way that I could have known. Um, I think the best interviews and the interviews I want to model going forward, and I think I have done this fairly well recently, is knowing what's going on, having read some of their books, having read a book they didn't expect me to read, I think is really fun. Yeah, knowing their vibe and not just the surface level. Um, Doing deep dives, like another big inspiration, and like one that I really want to kind of lean into modeling like in 2025 and past episode 50 is Nardwar, because for those who don't know, Nardwar is a Canadian music interviewer who like brings extremely deep questions to people about like their childhood and like the places where they lived, um and like gives them gifts and stuff that are kind of related. And like I don't think I can get to that level, but I'd really like to be at the level where I'm like, tell me about this like itch game that you made in like 2016, right? Like, do. Yeah, Nardwar will find out who your favorite high school teacher was exactly. But yeah, I wanna manage to I wanna manage to like ask more of those deep questions that folks like don't expect me to have on the docket. Um, I want to kind of like figure out what the model is for having friends on, because I think I've had some really good interviews with friends, but I don't know. I think they could be better. Like I think there's more space for me to be like to try and learn things about my friends that I don't necessarily know. Because I think I've kind of what I've often done when interviewing like people who I know is I go for the things that I know about them that like the audience might not know, and I try to bring those out to the forefront. But I think being more extractive, taking like a deeper, you know, a deeper pick to the to their brain, I think would be more interesting. Eclipse research team finding out like old screen names and weird. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's where I want to be. Five Nights at Freddy's. No, but yeah, I wanna do that for people who I know already as well. I think that'd be really fun. Um, and yeah, I think like that design shape has been really fun. Um, for like the interview segments, and then for news, I think a really big thing with news has been um, and I think that I like kind of wasn't expecting to find as much is the uh like one, my standards for news are like very specific. I don't report on like discourse. Like, like if like it's like round 12 of System Matters discourse, I won't report on it because like I don't think it's worth doing. Um, but I have reported on like things that are like Zach Fox is involved with this project, or I think those sorts of things are more useful. Those sorts of like um hey, this person who like has been ousted is like back in the mix. Why is that happening, right? Um, I think that's fairly useful, but I think like the the other area of like um da, 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 words I think the other area of like discourse for discourse sake is not really where I want to be reporting. D4RIA award show where Al Pacino is wheeled out onto stage and in his dying breath he announces the hottest actual play character, and then Imagine Dragons plays a 12-minute long song about why you should join the military. That's really scary. Goblins rule forever. I'm terrified of that. I'm really scared now. Um, but God. Yeah, like finding the standards has been really interesting. And then the other thing that's been really interesting is like finding that even though I've avoided discourse, like there are stories in the teacher of G space that make me very emotional, right? Like I come at this from an editorial standpoint. Like I would never pretend to be a hardline, balanced TTRPG journalist. I'm I was too caught up in shitting on the game awards and yeah, the game awards suck. But yeah, I really like I think those like really emotional and like really like heated stories are interesting. I do sometimes worry that I'm like steamrolling guests a bit, but also sometimes we get into it and it's really good. Um, but yeah, like a lot of a huge through line I think this year, obviously because it touches everything, um is the genocide in Gaza and the West Bank, because like it's an issue that I'm really emotional about. Um, it is honestly kind of a barometer for like if uh like putting it in the news docket is kind of a barometer for determining whether I am going to like keep a person on. I haven't had an issue with like that before, but like I think if I found that a person was like, why are we doing this story? This is anti-Semitic. Like I would not have them on the show at that point. Um, and I think like the I think being able to like talk about that sort of stuff freely here and be very like open about those feelings has been really good. Honestly, I think broadly like this has been a really good space for me to be honest about my feelings about teacher RPGs, in a way that's like not toxic and not snippy, and that like requires me to like look at a thing for a long period of time and kind of prepare a statement about it in some ways. Uh, because like I think an issue that I've definitely seen in teacher RPGs is that like people will kind of like crowd up in these uh stochastic harassment Discord servers and then like you know uh roll out to attack people they don't like, or people who make like slightly slightly less than completely like smart opinions about certain things. Like someone will be like, this happened in my D&D campaign night, it's so much fun, yippee. And like that there I know at least one there was at least one Discord that I was actually in for a little bit and then I left because I really didn't like the environment there. uh I was not in there for that reason. I was in there for other reasons. But that kind of started happening in there, which is like people would just start like quote tweeting this person, and like it had this it was the dead bird look at this dead bird that I found like vibe, and then everyone would rush in and cause them problems, which I think is really fucked up. But and I think even then I knew not to like join in on on the chaos because I thought it was very cruel. um or at least it wasn't really in my interest to do that sort of thing. Everyone smell this bad fart now, exactly. Also, thank you, Aaron. Thank you for the happy 5-0, Aaron. Eclipse's trick: get Matt Mercer on the show and then only ask questions about There Will Be Brawl. So why'd you wear blackface? uh, God damn it. But yeah, like I think I've been in a position where I'm looking at a lot of stories that make me feel a certain way, uh, and instead of going, "Wow, that sucks," and I'm so mad about it, I am encouraged by the format of the show to really fucking sit in it for a. Hang on, I think the stars are misaligned. There we go. That should be better. To really fucking sit in it for like a solid week, maybe a little bit less, a couple days, and think about like, how do I actually feel about this? What do I want to say publicly about this? Like, what am I comfortable saying publicly about this? Um, what parts of this feel like I should say anything about them? That there are things in Like, I'll be honest, that there are things in certain uh tied to certain stories that I've just chosen not to talk about. Whether it be because uh because I'm like too close to the thing, or I am not interested in like you know providing too much scrutiny towards a especially like a trans woman who's involved in the story. Um, but yeah, it's tough to make those sorts of decisions. But I think at the end of the day, showing scrutiny has been really important for those parts of the show. On a more lighthearted note, hearing you talk about what you want to report on, I'm now imagining you having Dovecote magazine where you report on rumors. Rumors say Sapphic World TV will have more Sapphics and worlds. That'd be awesome. Magazines are tough, I imagine, these days. Like, I don't know how you keep up that business model. I guess it is a subscription model, but like I feel like people want, I don't know, the written word is cheap these days. I mean, it shouldn't be, but it is. Like, there is a uh, uh ugh, blah, you know what's going on there. But yeah, there's a undervalued. Yes, that is a better thing. Actual factual. When not to add attention to a trash fire is a hard lesson to internalize on the internet. Yeah, very much agreed, Mossy. I still actually feel a little bit weird about the about kind of discussing. I'll just talk about this. I don't remember which episode it was, but um the talking about that Marcia B blog about the like UBG that game that like plagiarized bits of UVG, ultraviolet grasslands, and Vaults of Varn. I I think like if I went back and looked at it, I feel like I would be like, wow, I was being very careful with this, and I was doing a pretty good job of it. But I do still feel like you know I will say like I think by the time that I had done that, I think a lot of the damage had been done. Um, However, I do think like uh I don't know. I would probably be even more cautious about reporting on something like that in the future because at the end of the day, like at the center of it is a vulnerable trans woman who I hope is doing all right. Like um I think I really respect Marcia for like going in and reporting on the specifics of that because it was pretty cut and clean, cut and clear. Um, but I am also, I tend to be careful about what I say about other trans women on on the internet publicly because I know that like there is a tendency, or not tendency, there is a mechanism for sort of like social murder, as they say, sort of this social murder or perhaps even actual murder, like driving trans women to really desperate, you know, financial and social places, just because they, made a mistake, right? Um, I don't know. It's a really tough spot to be in. And all I can ask is that folks show patience as I continue to try and navigate stuff. But mostly, I try and give my thoughts on things. I am mostly not beholden to that sort of stuff. I mean, even stuff like that my friends have made. I've given like folks will know that I've given some opinions over the years on uh, like the Zabe's Bed and Breakfast One More Multiverse stuff, which I've kind of been on the record as having my doubts about its permanence, which turned out to be like half half a valid concern, half not. Um, but I try and be honest, even if it's something that I have a connection to. Um, Trying to think of other stuff with the news. I I think sometimes there's not enough news or not enough interesting news, and so I think this also goes for mail to a degree. I am really interested in looking at other potential bits for for the show. When I am worried that there might not be enough mail, or um, or even having a thing where it's like I put out the call for mail early in the week and like say who the guest is, and then you know give folks more time to get that stuff in. Um, and I guess that does lead us towards like mail and kind of the overall like structure of the show. I think we've had some really good questions come in. But I do also think like I need to think about a way to, as I said, like a way to make sure that mail comes in and folks are able to think about their questions and know who the guest is early. Because I definitely think sometimes it is a little difficult for folks to like, you know, muster up those questions before the show when I put an announcement like the day before. I tend to get very distracted. But we're gonna work on that. Um, but yeah, I think like it's really been fun getting questions that are like directed towards the person I'm interviewing. Um, and like that's not necessarily something I can manufacture, which is I guess one challenge with it. Um, like I can't necessarily make that stuff happen on my own. But I'm hoping that maybe as I get more of an audience, if I keep putting out stuff, ideally there will be more mail. Like earnestly, because I'm gonna have a full-time job in December, right? Um, I don't really care about getting an audience so that I can like make money on the internet. I earnestly just want people to like enjoy my art and and ask questions on the Dovecote, which I guess is a little simple, but um, I think my intentions were more ambitious before I got this full time job, and now I'm like, yeah, no, I I simply want people to ask questions for the Dovecote because I like making this show. I have a really good time making this show. Even though it is definitely energy draining. Like there are definitely some weeks where I come in and I'm like, oh, I am like drained. I am this week has already fucked me. And now I'm gonna do this show. Um, once I get in the ring, once I get the fucking the gloves on, I'm in it. Uh, I smiles. um, drinking water. Um, yeah, I think like overall, the structure of the show has been kind of a banger. Started a 5-day, 25 hours a week job, and even that has been so fucking draining. Work is hard. Yeah, yeah, real. I'm gonna be doing like a 35 to 40, so I'm probably going to have like less time to think about this show, which is why I wanted to do like all this. Change the code of paint now, so I had I had it all set up, and I could think about not have to think about that in the future. Um, but yeah, thankfully this is a show that like kind of puts itself together in a lot of ways. I take some notes on the news. I wind up looking at the news anyways and having thoughts, so it's like it's not a huge deal. Um, honestly, the most draining element is just the contact. I simply cannot do full time. We'll see if I can. I am disabled and like I have a lot going on, but I also it's a job that's gonna like have me driving around a lot and like there's gonna be a lot of waiting, and like hanging out in Starbucks and shit. So, uh, it will be it will be not as bad. I don't think it's gonna be a social work job for. I don't want to talk too much about it. Those who know know. It's a social work job that I'm very excited to do. I think it's like it's work that I've never really seen myself doing, but it's like deeply deeply important work that I'm like really honored to have an opportunity to do. Um, and it's stuff that's like really close and very close to home for me. Um, yeah. But yeah, I think like ultimately the structure of the show has been really good. I think I kind of nailed it in one in some ways. Although I do think there are some, as I said, some changes that can be made. I'd really like to, like, I think exploring Reddit threads has been really fun. I'd love to maybe replace the news or the mail every once in a while with one of those. Uh, I'd love to do episodes that are just actual play. I think like Dovecote plays is a concept that I've bounced around that I think would be really really fun, and some folks who have been previous guests have shown interest in that. Um, and Yeah, I think just kind of like expanding my options in terms of what I wind up doing. Like almost like book club type stuff, like talking about text, or like talking about either like blogs or TTRPG books from like other folks with my guests, and sending them that prior. I think would be really fun. I guess part of this will have to be like figuring out what is going to be my structure for pitching this show if there's additional stuff that's not news and not mail. Um, but that's going to be an interesting challenge, and I think I can figure that out as I go. Um, what else am I thinking about with this end of things? Because this is very much uh, the like looking back. Well, actually, I mean, we should look back because I want to talk about episodes. I want to talk about specific episodes. Um, I don't have all of them uploaded, but uh, I think the last episode I uploaded was like 40, which is really far back. Sorry about that, folks. I've been a bit, I've been in a bit of a zone, I guess is kind of what I'll say. Um, there's been a lot going on. I'm actually in export episode 49. Thankfully, I've been keeping up with the exports. It's just they're not haven't been adding thumbnails and such to them because I forget sometimes. One thing looking back on the show that I'd actually really like to do is I do think that like a more expressive model would be very helpful. I might swap to 2D even. Um, because I do think like being able to have a more expressive model so that my guests know what I'm like vaguely what I'm looking like in real would be really nice. And I have a lot of friends who have fairly expressive 3D stuff, so might be something to think about, or even just go to like Vroid because I have a pretty good Vroid for this version of myself. I got options. It's something I'm thinking about. But yeah, let me see if there are any highlights here because I'm not gonna go through all 40 of these episodes. Um, but I would love to talk a little bit about them. Let me get a capture of the YouTubes. Um, Episode 1 with Piper, I think really like found like what the structure of the show was. And it's still an episode that I'm like really happy with, and I think is like a really good sense of what this show is and what it does. Um, I think like uh my episode with Z I'm really happy with because I think like honestly that was an episode where it was like I did not do the research I should have about Z about Zig before the episode, but like I'm really happy that I discovered the things that I did about Zig despite that through asking questions and like yeah, I think like Zig makes some really cool stuff, and I'm glad that I like discovered that Zig makes that stuff through that conversation because I think I don't know, I think it's really really cool. The Dark Hidden Secrets, yeah. Oh yeah, my PAX episode, which is crazy. I guess technically this is episode 51 if you count that. Um, yeah, I should do another one of those this year. Although I don't know. I don't know if I'll have as much to say because I'm not. I'm honestly not going to be doing as much at PAX U. I'm kind of coming in late and leaving early, so we'll see. Um, a lot of really nice talking with like a Duck and Crowley was really nice. Um, Emily's just a very smart person. Talking to Wendy, obviously six. Um, a lot of folks who like I was really excited to get a chance to talk to. like on air, like talking to Jeff again after the Sapphic World party of one, talking to Jay on the show was really cool. And then folks I didn't really know about until the show. You know, looking at like Nomi and Michelle, who I know through Duck. Um, Natalie, who was really nice to get to know. Getting to talk to Riley Hopkins, another highlight. Riley's really cool. Loved talking to Jacqueline. Listen, if you are a person who knows me well and we've talked and like, you know, if you're in like if you're like one of my metamors or whatever or one of my friends, like it goes without saying I had a really good time talking to you. Um, uh, uh, I think both episodes with Will were really great. Both of the Will Yepst episodes. Talking to Andrew was really great because like I won't out Andrew, but Andrew's like in this community now, which is really cool. Because you know Andrew made a really cool game. Um, uh, duh, duh, duh. Obviously Ira. Talking with Caleb was great. The the crossover of Caleb having written fucking Minecraft books and then asking Caleb about Minecraft Teacher RPG stuff. The like eternal Dovecote brainworm was really fun. Um, Talking to Lynn was a highlight because that's like you know Lynn was like in getting Lynn while Lynn was setting up Rascal was fucking crazy. Like considering the like you know where Lynn is now, uh working on the Interview with the Vampire show, as like a kind of a lore keeper. Like that shit's crazy. Talking to Marn was great. Getting to know Marn, Aaron, obviously like you know I had really enjoyed Patchwork World and like getting to talk with Aaron about games was just really lovely. Um, Getting to talk with Sylvan and Nick because I feel like I hadn't really developed like a personal rapport with them before, and then I got to see them at Big Bad Con. That was lovely. Oh, Oleander Garden. That was really cool. That was like such a sort of exceptional episode because it was someone from the world of indie video games who had made indie TTRPGs, but was coming at it from a very like kind of outsider critical or like OSR-ish OSR, but from like uh, a T girl savant angle, and that was really neat. Um, Talking to Barclay, always lovely. Talking to I feel like my Armand episode was really good. I I'm very happy with that one. I think we talked a lot about like stuff that we both had in common, and also like specifically the sort of work that Armanda does. Um, Thank you, Grief. Welcome. I'm just going through existing episodes and talking about my feelings on them. Um, Talking to Aaron was so fucking cool. Talking to Aaron Lim was so fucking cool. Like Aaron is such a cool person, and also like is the reason why I hosted the awards this year. So shout outs to Aaron. Um, Vel Mini honestly was like kind of a Velmini was in like my top folks to get on the show, which is really funny for reasons that I can't really talk about. Um, Vel is like, what I'll say. Vel is deeply accessible, right? like Vel was always deeply accessible for me in ways that I didn't even fully understand until I think after or slightly before that episode. But yeah, this is very funny. Um, but yeah, that's the episodes that are here. Let me I'm gonna hide this because gonna look at my YouTube Studio for the remaining 10. And also, you know, talking to Willie Yobst again. Also Kayla, who I didn't know, like Kayla's so fucking cool. I want to talk to Kayla again. I want to play Transgender Deathmatch Legend 2 is what I actually want to do. There was some vague discussion of us doing a Dovecote episode where we played that, and that didn't really wind up happening because we were both just so fucking swamped. Mainly me. I was mostly swamped. Other episodes. Luna, Lapis Lunaris. Really cool person. So funny. like so incredibly funny. Um, really excited to, potentially like a person that I'm deeply excited to talk with more, to potentially work with more, like just a really cool, smart person. Logan, I would say basically the same thing. Like, also Logan was such a coincidence because I didn't even know about Logan's work in serious games, in what we would call war games, but uh, not war. Oh, that's true. Hang on, let me fuck. Transgender deathmatch legend, deathmatch legend 2. Y'all should support Transgender Deathmatch Legend 2. It did succeed at its goal, but they're do they have stretch goals? Yeah, they got stretch goals. Get in there. Uh, fucking back it. You got 62 hours left. Um, relax. I have a dog here. The dog is not happy that I'm talking to the computer instead of bringing her OUT. Uh, Maggie, stop. Okay. Um, I might need to take a break in a moment. But yeah, that was a great episode. Logan specifically. Logan works in serious games, and we talked about the the People Make Games episode on serious games. Sorry, I have one hand on this dog now, and I'm petting her. I'm trying to get her to calm down. Um, but yeah, that was so cool. Relax. Hey, relax. Talking to JD. Oh my god. She's fucking pulling on my headphone cord. Talking to JD was really cool. What a great game. Hyper Violence Ultra Mall. Really neat. Uh, a lot of repeats here. But yeah, like doing the repeats was really fun because I got to, no, not a kitty, a doggy. I got to check back in with folks, and that's been honestly like one of the best parts of the show has been the opportunity to check back in with folks who are who I've Maggie, you're gonna make this chair fall. If you hear me yell, like not yell at the dog, but like if you hear me yelp in fear, she is. So I have one of these rolling chairs, right? Like office chairs, and it has one of those levers on it that you use to either make it drop, like drop a couple inches or go up a couple inches. And what my dog loves to do is, I'm just gonna hold this so she doesn't accidentally press it. What my dog loves to do is she will. Oh, okay. All right. What this dog loves to do is she will sit right by where that thing is, and like press her whole body weight into the lever. Um, Now obviously that creates a problem because if she shifts at all, which is what the situation right now, her entire back is on this thing. Um, I drop a couple of inches in my chair, and she gets scared. I get scared. Um, it's overall a really bad situation, so I'm trying to stop it from happening. But yeah, overall, really, really great episodes. And I think I'm gonna take a break. Yeah, she loves her puppy crimes. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna get this dog out. I might even grab myself some pasta. Never mind. She's decided to leave me alone. uh, then I won't do that. But I should probably take a break anyways. Um, yeah, we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna let the dog out. Gonna grab a quick meal. I'll probably bring it up with me, and then I think we're gonna move into the next part, which is the future. I want to talk a bit about like what the future of the Dovecote looks like. I want to get your thoughts. Like, I'd love to hear what you all think and like things that you'd like to see for the show. Um, and yeah, I really want to, I think the next step will be kind of talking about the future of the show, the next 50 episodes, the next 100 episodes. Um, Oh yeah, I guess there's one more thing that I want to talk about, which is I one thing that I think is like really crucial about this show, not to pat myself on the back too much, but like there is a reason why trans women burn out of TTRPGs. There is a reason why trans women burn out of TTRPG media, and I'm like very happy that I've been able to like keep going. Um, there may come a day where I encounter things that make that harder. I've thankfully had a really smooth. I've had really smooth sailing with this show. Like I have not received any harassment. I have not received any hatred for what I do or who I am. Um, and so I'm really proud of that. I'm really happy that maybe not proud because I feel like a lot of it is luck, and like and you know what my audience looks like and who the show appeals to. But like you know my understanding is that there are other trans women who have like you know tried to do teach RPG media and either like not gotten it out there uh or had trouble because of like people being shitheads, and I'm glad that this has worked thus far, and I'm hoping that it continues to work for a while for quite a while longer. I'm very proud that I've gotten to 50 episodes because I think persevering this far has been good, and I'm happy about it. But yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we're back, we'll talk about the future. Thank you, Lilith. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, be right back. Where is my music? Hello. Oh, hang on. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Or I guess welcome me back, because I'm back. I have pasta. Um, Thank you. Yeah, I want to talk a bit about the future of the show. Um, I honestly don't know how much longer we'll go. It probably won't be, probably won't be the 2 full hours, but, girls will crack their knuckles. What the hell? Why are you cracking? Yeah, I'm pasta powered. Um, why are you cracking your knuckles, though? Why would you do that? That's fucked up. Um, yeah. But yeah, I want to talk a bit about my thoughts for kind of the future of the Dovecote. Obviously gonna keep doing it. Like I really enjoy it. The plate, the plate I have sounded like it. I see. Um, but yeah, I really like. You know, Mondays at 7, still pretty good for the show. I might have to move it a little bit later, depending on like how late I get back from work, but we'll see how that goes. Um, but broadly, I'm going for continuing the show because I really, I really deeply enjoy making this show. Um, I want to talk a bit about upcoming guests because like they're all plotted out into like early 2025. Who do we have? We have some fun ones. I'll do some highlights. December 16th is Aaron Voigt, which will be really cool. The 6th, January 6th is going. Wait, January 6th? Oh no, I didn't even realize it was that day. January 6th is going to be Andrew Gillis again. January 13th is going to be Joshie McCrew. These might change. These are subject to change. Um, da, da, da. The January 27th, we'll have Sabrina Hawthorne on again, which will be really nice. February 10th will be Crowley and Softy. We'll be talking about inhuman resources, which will be neat. February 17th will be another Ira episode, another Ira Prince, which will be lovely. Love talking to Ira all the time. February 24th will be Kavita, who made Songs for the Dusk, who I met at Big Bad Con, so that'll be really fun. And then there is a gap where I actually don't have. Hey, by the way, if you make RPGs or are interested in TTRPGs, please ring me up, and if you have free time in March, March 3rd, 10th, or 17th, hit me up, and we'll talk about getting you on an episode if you haven't been on the show. Yeah. And then the 24th, March 24th, will be Austin Ramsey, and March 31st will be Jaden Michaela Jones. So yeah, we're looking forward to a pretty Lilith Lilac Leviathan episode 3. If you give us about 15 minutes of warning, we will be on the show anytime. That's cool. Hell yeah. I'll keep that in mind. No, don't eat my food. Damn it. Okay, I guess I'm eating this now. But, fuck. So, that's what's coming up. But I want to talk a bit more about, like, what will that look like structurally, and what the vibe I want to be. We've kind of talked about that a little bit, but, like, I think, like, obviously talking, like, putting these promos out earlier is definitely something I want to do, but that's kind of a little bit inside. I'd actually love to, because I've talked so much about what I want to do with the show. What are things folks would like to see here? What would folks like to see in future episodes of the Dovecote? Because like, I can only know what feedback I have from myself and my guests, but like, I haven't really asked you all, the audience, like, what you think of the show. Fondly remembering the biotraffication playtest stream and how far you skirted around the sun. Yeah, listen, you have to be very careful, but also you can be very not careful if you're careful. But yeah, I'd love to hear what folks like. What parts of the show have you really enjoyed? What parts of the show um are you hoping to see more of? Are there any guests you'd like to see again? This is kind of your chance to tell me how you're feeling about the Dovecote. It was fun on those streams to get as dangerous as we could. Hell yeah. Um, I actually, hmm, I think it'd be really fun to use the Dovecote as a platform for playtest, both my own and other folks. Because it's so design oriented. I think I'd like much rather if I do like Dovecote plays stuff. I'd much rather have it be like uh doing episodes that are based around games that have not even really seen the light of day yet, like first, second, third playtests, like really early stuff. Because I think that's really fun. Um, I really like the Reddit portions. Getting a little segment of let's turn the microscope on this specific side of Reddit and pick them apart like some kind of bug. Yeah, yeah, I'm glad that you like those. I want to do more of that. I think it's really fun. Um, yeah, like trying to come at it from an angle that's like not cruel, but's more like interested. I think is like kind of going to be an important part of that is like not being like look at this freak. I mean kind of being like look at this freak, but like not not being like look at this freak parentheses bad, being like look at this freak parentheses they're in a really interesting place in their understanding of RPGs, and also sometimes we found really like people who really knew what they were talking about in those Reddit threads. So that mix was really interesting. Um, every episode I learned something new about design or about a game I didn't know or about a cool person who does who does cool work. It's great. I'm glad that's part of the goal. There's been a lot of conversation about that sort of stuff. So, or like there's a lot of conversation about projects that the folks like because that's kind of how I orient things. So yeah, I'm glad that that's happening. Minecraft TTRPG. We will talk more about. Listen, I will talk about Minecraft TTRPG stuff until like the sun is dead. I don't care. I'm I'm insane. I'm off. I'm forever. I'm an eternal creature, and I will live until the sun goes out. Um, I don't know if streaming/podcasting is her jam these days, but I'd love to see Lee Mack of We Are But Worms on and Sasha Renault. I would love to have Sasha Renault on. In fact, I should contact Sasha Renault because we did meet. We did hang out. We live forever and we love to live. I don't know much about Lee Mack actually. I We Are But Oh yeah. We Are But Worms. I've seen this. Yeah. I don't necessarily know how to reach this person, but that is a very good. That's a really good call. I almost wonder if there's some folks I know who could get me in contact with these. Are they still doing their? No, they're not doing Game Closet anymore. Do they have their Patreon up? Sorry, now I'm just doing research. Uh, yeah, looks like it's gonna be a little tough to contact that person, but that would be really interesting. Do they still have their website? Uh, this does not look to be their website. Yeah, I think that this person's internet presence is a little bust, unfortunately. Although they're still putting out work, so like I don't know. That's really interesting. I should look into. Oh, you're friends with Lee. Hell yeah, that would be fucking awesome. Hell yeah. So sorry, I didn't catch that. Um, yeah, really good one word system. Weird but worms. Um, but yeah, I think broadly, I want to get a variety of folks on here. I think also specifically and especially, I don't really know if I would like I not to pat myself on the back for the bare minimum. I think I've done an okay job in terms of like uh diversity on the show. I do think I could do better. Like, um, I think if you were to look at the numbers, and there are a lot of folks who I just don't know their ethnicity, but like if you were to look at the numbers, it's probably still like, you know, majority white, but also, I think I have to like on some level accept that as a white person, like uh the communities that I wind up building up wind up being very white because of that. And that is also a thing that like, I constantly want to challenge myself. But yeah, I think broadly like more diversity on the show would always be good. Like I have no intention of resting on my laurels there because like I think the show will only be better the more folks I bring from from differing backgrounds, whether they be from the U.S. or from other countries. It's also an English language show, which can be a barrier. Yeah, something I'm actually really happy with the Dovecote has been how many conversations we've had with folks who are from not from the U.S. who are doing work in the English language, and kind of the I don't know, like I feel like these are subjects that don't necessarily get discussed, which is like there is kind of a there is a real power imbalance, right, between their audience and them, and also a real sense of like a real sense of like some frustration that I think we were able to see in some of those interviews with audiences that like are racist or xenophobic or bigoted or like fail to understand where the work's coming from and why it's coming from that place. And I'm really glad that like folks have felt comfortable to bring those stories to the Dovecote. And as as a show that is like themed around the exchanging of a place where letters are exchanged and kept, I would hope that there is some level of internationality for this show, and I hope to keep that up. Ultimately, like my networking is limited to the internet and and who I meet at cons. And I don't go to every con. I don't go to Gen Con, for example, or I haven't yet. And so yeah, I guess broadly, like I'd really like to expand who I am able to bring onto the show. I'd love to touch up on my Spanish and maybe have like do you like an episode or two of like Dovecote Espanol? I think that would be really fun. Because I have a minor in Spanish. I learned Spanish for like what, like fucking 5 years. um, they call it Gen Con because it's for generic games. That's fucked up. That's really sad. Why is that happening? What's going on? Wait, that's not. Sorry, I've been doing a Tucker Carlson voice recently. That was not it at all, though. I need to get into the. Your children are going to a convention called Gen Con. What's going on? Or wait, hang on. You need to do the setup first. You need to do like the wind up. I love that tweet of yours. That shit got me. What was that again? Oh, that was the penis box. That was you tried to Undertale music. Now you're going into the penis box. Tucker Carlson has like this Tucker Carlson, notable chewing tobacco marketer. Yeah, and also inheritor to the to a Frozen TV dinner fortune, to my understanding. But he does this thing that's so wild, where it's like I've been talking to Lilith about this, and I've been doing this bit around her, but it's like he like he'll do like this long tangent, like kind of in the universe of the people he's trying to ridicule. Like he'll be like, they want you to go to the Dovecote, and they want you to be interviewed by Darling Demon Eclipse. They want you to do it. They want your children to do it. And they might even want your family to do it. What's going on? how how did we get to this point? And who's going to be responsible for footing the bill? And then maybe he'll go into an interview or like go into some other tangent. Um, Anyways, he's a real piece of shit. I'm glad that he lost his job, but I hope worse things happen to him. And I'm not saying I'm gonna do those things. I'm just saying, I think in terms of like fortune and luck, like I'm just saying that I hope that there are unfortunate. I hope that he rolls really poorly on his next driving check. And sorry. Anyways, um, smiles. I love to eat while saying that. Um, yeah, I hope he gets Minecraft TTRPG. God, that's a really good like threat. I should start saying like, you know, someone should kill this dude in the Minecraft TTRPG, in GTA, yeah, exactly, in the GTA TTRPG. Um, oh yeah, I got that Minecraft TTRPG. I haven't read it yet. It's so fucking dense. I really want to, honestly, something that I would actually really like to do is do some read throughs on this show and like episodes that maybe even don't have guests, just reading through interesting tabletop artifacts. That might be getting a little bit too close to to read the fucking manual, but you know, I'm sure that I could find things that are in an interesting niche, um, that aren't just like, you know, the things that RTFM would do. Um, Eclipse, have me on to read the. I would love to do that. Would be a fun episode. Reading through the Minecraft RPG with you. Yeah. Like I think broadly for the future, I want to think more about like what is a Dovecote episode? What can be a Dovecote episode? Um, and not being so limited to the existing format. Like I definitely want maybe, you know, an episode a month or so, like, you know, maybe a bit more. I want episodes that are in the traditional structure, but I do want to be like, did I miss any talk of Dovecote AP? Yeah, I've thought a little bit about it. I'd like to do stuff that is, you know, I'd love to play some games on here. I guess mostly is the thing. I'd love to do playtests, especially. Um, I'm excited to do another fuck code. The fuck code one was really fun. I need to like start thinking about ways that I can make it worse. But yeah. Maybe you can make like an in-picture situation for someone to play through for like 10 minutes using some TTRPG's rule. That's interesting. I'm not entirely sure how that would work, but yeah, that is really interesting. But yeah, I'd like to hype up the fuck coat more this year because I think what we did was like really kind of incredible in terms of just like, Gondel will be really good. Yeah, Gondel. So I guess two layers of context here. The fuck coat was an episode that we did around April Fools, which was like, what if the Dovecote was really, really loud and mean? And it was really good. I'm really proud of what we did there. It was like so obnoxious, just incomprehensible bullshit. And I would love for more people to be aware of it because I think it's like we have a lot of opportunity to do fun stuff with it, and like subvert expectations and lean into expectations in the second one. Because we're definitely doing another one. The first one was fucking riot. Just us, like, yelling at each other. I think I managed to make myself cry during it. Yeah. Good. We can read Grief read Guilty Gear lore. Yeah, for context, Gondel is a video of a little worm moving around, and it has that song that goes da 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 da. And it's so fucking loud. That's the main quality of it. It's just like extremely loud and bass. I just burped as I was speaking. Extremely loud and bass boosted. It's incredible. Yeah, I think like an important element of Gondel calls for aid. Yeah. I think an important element of like the work that I do both in terms of the Dovecote and TTRPGs, is I think TTRPG has a tendency to be a very like uh it's a space that is very oriented around itself. Like people in the TTRPG space are very like focused on TTRPGs and want to project that they're focused on TTRPGs. Um or at least like I think the people who are like really successful, or maybe not successful, but like the people who come off as very professional are like, this is uh my social media for RPGs, and I come off as professional here, and I make games, and these are my games, and you will look at them, and I will talk about them, and that's that. And I say, what if I talked about Warframe a whole bunch? Like what if I went on a whole tangent? And I think that's also true about a lot of other TTRPG creators. Like I'm not saying I'm alone in that. Um, but like I think that leaning into that is really good. And I also think like there's a tonal thing where it's like I my most successful TTRPG friend has mostly stopped being online at all. Yeah, that's real. That's real. If I'm available for the next fuck coat, my volunteering to read the Elder Scrolls character creation questionnaire in my worst Sasusius or Gala voice still stands, hell yeah. That'd be awesome. Um, what was I saying? Uh, the thing, something about like equality of the fuck coat, and I think equality of the show and equality of like the RPGs that I make is that it's a little like I think TTRPGs are very much in like a literary class, and there's certain like aesthetic assumptions that come with that about like you know what is the quality of this art? Is this a thing that is drawing from other things, or is it just its own thing? Um, and I think a lot of my favorite TTRPG creators have an interest in dismantling that and being like, no, actually, this RPG that I made is like deeply inspired by Dark Souls 2. This RPG that I made is deeply inspired by Sonic Adventure. Like Riley Hopkins, who I mentioned earlier, like is one of my favorite RPG creators because they're so directly, looped into the things that they love. Um, and those things are not high art. Those things are not literature and uh, you know, I think leaning into those inspirations is really good. Um, and I also don't really think that the high and mighty RPG creator who is only interested in literature really exists. Um, I think that, I think that's kind of fantastical. But I do think that is like a thing that people project, and I think like uh, being open to things that are like quote unquote lower class in some ways as a teacher RPG creator, um, and being like extremely earnest and excited about your inspirations is worthwhile, and it's something that I want to lean into both with this show and with this thing. Um, both with the show and my games. Um, yeah, I don't exist anymore. Lilith has eaten me and put me into the void. I just woke up from a nap and I took after fighting for my life in the restroom. How's the episode been going? Good. We're talking about the future of the Dovecote. Um, hmm. I have all this ground beef at the bottom of this bowl of pasta now. A fork is really not the instrument to obtain it. But I don't want to touch it with my hands because it's covered in a thin, sort of slightly dried uh, husk of sauce. Husk is veneer, aura, infrastructure, palace, castle, realm. Hmm. I ate that shit with my hands anyways, it's fine. Okay. Hmm. A dusting, that's a good word. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I think it's probably like my main word on the Dovecote. Yeah, it was a shallow bowl. It was almost more of a saucer. Um, but I think it's kind of my main thing on with the Dovecote. It's just like I and I know it's kind of like a really simplistic thing to say, which is basically just like be yourself for shows, but like I I do earnestly really feel this, which is like I um I come from really different I come from a lot of different backgrounds in terms of like the things that I do and the things that I think about. I'm involved with like the VTuber streaming stuff. Like, folks like Melody and Marcy and JD, which is like kind of has its own tone and atmosphere and vibe. And Grief, obviously. Grief is kind of another crossover there. I'm involved in Teach RPGs, which have their own vibe. I spent time in academia. I'm going into working for public office. Like I have a lot of there are a lot of things that are there are a lot of tones and cultures uh and things that make up the creature that I am and the work that I make. And I think instead of rejecting those contradictions and trying to sand them down, I want to lean into them. I want to, if it comes up, I want to be talking about fucking oysters on the Dovecote because I did a bunch of journalism about that in real life. Um, I want to be talking about video games on the Dovecote. I want to bring on folks who maybe I wouldn't necessarily traditionally bring on from other spheres of my life on the Dovecote. I want it to be a celebration of RPGs and an analysis of them that is through primarily the lens that I can bring, because I think that's where it's gonna that's where it's gonna thrive. Um, that's where the show is gonna be at its best. No, not not for a non-binary joke. Segment in the Minecraft TTRPG read where we talk about marine life and oysters. I'd love to. Um, VTuber TTRPG. Sure, yeah. I don't know how you would do that, but there's something there. I mean, that's kind of just interstitial, right? I really want to do actually, this would be a really good Dovecote episode, Dovecote Plays episode, which is interstitial 2e. Bring in a bunch of VTubers and have them play their VTuber in interstitial. That would be really fucking fun. I would have a blast with that. Hey Duck, how's it going? Um, yeah, I don't know. Does anyone have any other thoughts about like things that you've really enjoyed with the Dovecote, things that you want to see in the future, things that any Dovecote thoughts before I wrap this up, before I conclude the 50th episode. The finale, not really the finale. That would be a crazy reveal right now. It's like, yeah, this is the last episode. I'm not doing any more of this shit. Sorry, folks. No, I'm doing plenty more of this. I'm hoping to do another 50, and another 50, and another 50. Um, you leaning into weird shit? Has Eclipse finally gone woke? Yeah, I've gone woke. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, but I did. And now, I'm gone. I mostly just think you're a really huge inspo. I can't wait to see more of what. Well, thank you, Shuki. Yay, 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 yay. Yeah, we're kind of going into the Dovecote season 2. A new look, uh, a new aura, um, a new vibe. If you do a new dove for the, oh shit, yeah, I need to make a Reddit dove, the fucking Reddit dove. Yeah, I didn't even think about like if I do new segments, I'll make new doves for them. That'll be really cute. Yeah, I'd love to do that. That sounds fucking awesome. Um, yeah, I'd love to have you back on the pod. That'd be awesome. Um, changing the name of the show to the Dove Woke. Yeah, but yeah, I'm just imagining the fucking Reddit dove. Like, I mean, the easiest one here is like neckbeard owl with a fedora, but I don't want to go like so obvious. I feel like there's more that I could do with it. This is my first episode. Hell yeah. Well, I hope you enjoy them. I think there's some fucking bangers. Like I was talking earlier about the episodes that we've done, and I'm really really proud of the show. Like, you know, it's it's weird. It's kind of weird being like, yeah, I'm so proud of the show that I've mostly done. Well, I mean, I haven't done it alone. It's in fact been a collaboration between me and so many other people that I can't even count them. So many amazing people. Um, doing something to that little, yeah, doing like a Reddit droid bird. Eclipse TV. Well, thank you. Um, yeah, Corda says teeth unlocked. Um, I do think like one thing that's not really related to the Dovecote that I do want to do is I want to get back to, I want to stream more outside of the Dovecote. And you know, I want to stream more on the URB Held channel. I want to stream more video games on here, and I also want to figure out Seep, which was the thing that I set up for my gaming stuff that I never really like fully set up, but I would love to set up my weird thing where people can spend channel points to make me to slowly create radiation that pours into the stream and eventually makes things go all topsy-turvy, because that sounds really fun. That probably won't be in the Dovecote, but you know, for other streams I think that'll be really fun. But yeah, I think that's all I have. For once I'll promote myself, I guess. Go check out eclipse.gay. That's my website. We're definitely gonna do a second fuck code. That will happen. There's a video game being which video game is being released in 10 days? What video game is being released on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? What video game is being released on December 10th, December 5th? I'd love to know. Oh, you're right. Holy shit. No, Caves of Cut is being released. Fuck, I should stream that. I should absolutely fucking stream that. Yeah, it is gonna be interesting. Huh. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Cud's really cool. Caves of Cut is sick. But yeah, oh. Sorry, I was just reminded of something that I don't really want to talk about, but it's related to Cud, but I would really like to stream Cud. I'm definitely gonna get that at least. Definitely gonna stream that either, probably not day of because it's literally coming out the day before I leave for PAX U, but definitely like the week after. I would love to do that. Could be a good thing to wind down from from my job with. I think that'll be really cool. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Alright. Well, it's been a lovely 50th episode. I should raid out here. I should raid someone. Who do we have? Who's streaming? Yeah, no one besides Melody that I'd really like to raid, so we're gonna raid Melody. Go say hi to Melody Burst. Melody's playing Pathologic 2. If you don't want Pathologic 2 spoilers, keep that in mind. And, yeah. If you don't like what you see, you can change it.
Remember, if you don't like what you see, you can change it. It's up to you, really. Goodbye, good luck, and have fun!